here we go again. Here we go again with Christians taking something that happens in nature, whether it happens often or not so often, but Christians are taking it and they're running with it. There are so many videos about the skies being red in Minnesota during a baseball game and the double rainbow and so on and so forth of it being red and there's no blue. And ooh, it must be the end times because the Bible said that the skies will give us wonders. And then it also talks about, I believe in Matthew, about how the sky will become red. The sky becoming red has to be like the whole sky, like everywhere around the world, the sky becoming red. But the problem that you're having with this one, the problem that I have with this one rather, is the fact that this is a natural occurrence. And it's a natural occurrence by a combination of things that can happen, and it is happening and did happen last week in order to create the sky being as red as it was, because normally it's not. Now, every day, if you go outside in and around sunset, well, right at sunset, you go outside during sunset, then a huge swath of the sky has this reddish orange hue to it. That is a normal thing. You're used to that. You know that that happens and you see it every day. No big deal. But what possibly can happen in nature that would cause the entire sky to turn red like that? Well, there's two things that can happen, and both of these things add an impact on the Minnesota area at the same time. Number one, when there is a forest fire that is happening in any area, in a large forest fire, I'm talking acres and acres of land where there is a forest fire, then the smoke and the particulates of the smoke in the sky will cause for the blues and other colors to not be able to be seen. And the only color that will be seen is reds and yellows, and predominantly red. That's what you're going to see. So anytime there's been a forest fire, and those people in like California and Washington and Oregon and Wyoming and Montana, you can vouch for that because you've probably seen it where there's a large forest fire and the entire sky looks red because of the particulates in the air from the smoke. Now, what else happens that creates that same thing or a similar situation? When there is a certain level of a high pressure that pushes down from the north, then what you're going to have is cleaner air. And in that situation, that cleaner air is also going to create a more brilliant sunset. So it's going to be more red, more orange when you see it. So how do these things come together? Well, for the last few weeks, there have been raging forest fires in California that has covered more than 200,000 acres of land that has been burning, as well as forest fires in Washington State, Montana, and Wyoming. These fires, with the natural flow of the wind coming off the Pacific, flow eastward, northeastward, towards where? Minnesota. And as they flow towards Minnesota, and in combination with this high pressure that is authenticated here, occurring over last week, you see the big dip of that high pressure pushing down over the Midwest, with those forest fires pushing from California and Washington State and Montana. The particulates of that forest fire would enter into this region of America, and with that high pressure, it would create a much redder, more brilliant sky. If you look at all those photos, you know it's a little bit hazy, right? That is because you have the fires, the smoke from the fires doing this. Now, you shouldn't find that strange. Remember, they had all those fires in Canada like a year or so ago, and it was impacting the sky all the way down into New York, New Jersey, and some parts of Virginia. So it is not crazy to think that the particulates with the wind pushing them can come over into Minnesota, and then you have that high pressure, which that smoke and particulates hitting that high pressure also creates the thunderstorms that were happening in that area. That's why you saw all the lightning. And when you have thunderstorms, and you have rains, and those particulates can create that as well, then you get your rainbows. And because the smoke particulates are keeping the blues and greens and other colors out of the rainbow, not green, but keeping those other colors out of the rainbow, all you will see in those rainbows are your yellows and reds. This is not a sign of the end time. This is a natural phenomenon. It doesn't happen all the time, but it happens often enough that we should not be sitting up here running around talking about, it's the end time, it's the end time, better get your life right, and all this other stupid stuff. So subscribe to the channel, and always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.